Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be starting a 9-game series from the Korea-China Invitational League. And the reason why I'm starting this is because a lot of people have been requesting a certain player. And this is a great opportunity to dive into that player a bit deeper. It's not this guy. This is our Chinese Protoss. It's QiaoGeGe. I know it kind of sounds like a weird ID, but yeah, QiaoGeGe, there's been a fair amount of his games that I've done on here. He is a very strong Protoss player, but the player who we're kind of like looking at here, that again, a lot of people that watch ArtosisCasts have been asking for, people have been popping in my stream and mentioning they love his games, they love his style. This is Bishop. Bishop hasn't been in too many ASLs yet, but he's, again, one of those guys right on the brink. You know, a lot of people bring up, Flash going as random, but I do want to remind people that Bishop years ago went random, and he almost made it into ASL. He was like one game or so off. He made it to the finals of a qualifier with the random race, but eventually decided that it was best to go back to Terran. And I tell you what, I'm glad that he did, because it really feels like he's doing a lot more different things than most Terran players. Right? Like, people have loved his Wraith Micro, they've loved his timing attacks, they've loved many things about him. So anyways, we're going to be going into this 9-game series. No matter how one-sided it may get, all of the 9 games will play out. So yeah, there you go, 9 Bishop games. I hope that you enjoy. Now, taking a look at this first game, Bishop is trying to go for a low ground command center very quickly. That's why this barracks is here. The command center fits there, and it has a little micro hole. It's a great location to do this in. But QiaoGeGe went for an early gateway, and in fact is sending additional probes over. Holy crap, I've never really seen anyone do this. Maybe one time. But he's sending additional probes immediately. He knows exactly what Bishop was up to. Bishop does get the gas, because as soon as you get scouted, you know Zealots are going to be on the way. But now the probes coming down and put on some heavy harassment. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He's going to get one SCV. Now the probes, well, SCVs come out to fight the probes. I'm a bit nervous for Bishop right now. Like, QiaoGeGe, yeah, his probes are going to have to run, but a Zealot is going to be on the way. And in fact, another probe as well? Are we actually having like a probe rush into Zealots? Okay, he starts a bunker. There is a Marine on the way. Yeah, he's going to have to fight really heavily here. He needs to get this bunker up. He needs to get the Marine inside. You can see excellent unit placement here. Blocking that Zealot as much as possible. He drills back to block it more. He's taking a lot of damage on the SCVs, and in fact, will end up losing one. But he put so much damage down onto the Zealot, this was 100% worthwhile. That was an excellent hold. An excellent hold from Bishop. Okay, so let's try to take a look at where the game actually stands right now. Bishop is he's on 14 SCVs against 18 probes. That's not good. He does have the double depot. Okay, he starts his factory. The factory is approximately a minute later than a regular factory expansion. Obviously, he got caught trying to go for this fast base, and it was a forward gate and everything. So things really went the way of QiaoGeGe. But yeah, just something to throw out there. It does seem as if he's pretty far behind right now, and that would be kind of amazing if QiaoGeGe is, able to just kind of take this down. Like, with that early pressure, he is ahead. Now the factory's being made. We're going to have a command center going up here in the natural shortly. It looks like a Nexus going to be going down as well, right around the same moment. But again, a 5-worker advantage right now. That's crazy. And not just a 5-worker advantage. Oh, is he going to make this? It looks like he wants to keep his production going. So it looks like he's like focusing on the probe production a little bit here. And yeah, he pops another one. Okay, so only delays the probe for a second. Has a Dragoon, starts a second Dragoon, has range on the way. So look, he's ahead in workers by 5, but also he's going quick range. And the quick range is going to force quick siege, I believe. Like, you can try to hold it without that, but yeah, and look, he made a Vulture, then he canceled into a tank, realizing that that's not going to work out for him. The Dragoon comes up, he's just checking, he sees the command center. Yeah, Bishop in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, Robo coming up. So it's going to be range goons. Okay, so in this particular case, you can probably skip siege. Now, he doesn't know that, right? I didn't know that until I looked over and saw exactly what was going on. But, you know, he's going to be able to pressure with a few Dragoons. There are going to be 4 Marines in the bunker, so yeah, he's just going to push this back pretty quickly. But as range finishes, these 2 goons can kind of pick off some of these units, slow this down. It looks like Bishop going into the pretty standard 4 Marine 1 tank with mines opener. And he is getting that engineering bay because he's a little bit behind. He's just got to kind of defend against everything right now. He just doesn't know what's coming. This could be DT. It could be a drop. It could be a third base. He really doesn't know. And what he's trying to do here is figure out what's going on. That's why he's pushing back. Now, Dragoon range is not done yet, so he's able to push that a little bit harder. Throws 1 mine down there, rotating up a little bit. Yeah, the 2 Zealots come out to fight as well. Okay, lays a mine up here. You know, as long as you have a mine around, you can kind of play a bit more aggressively here. You can see another comes up and lays a mine. Sits back. QiaoGeGe staying in the very, safe area, right? He knows there's no mines in this general area, so he's staying in there. Bishop keeps poking him and trying to draw him into mines. Notice how he laid the mine that I believe that was out of vision, and then he was like poking, trying to draw him in. But QiaoGeGe with some good defense. And by the way, 3 gate observers. So 3 gate observer, if this was really dedicated and he kept trying to go, 3 gate observer will eventually just run it over. Now siege mode is on the way, and that is ahead of any second factory or anything like that. He does have the armory up, which is really important. He pulls back into a very defensive stance. So what Bishop knows right now, right? So this is the important thing. This is what Bishop was trying to do. He didn't know what was going on, so he immediately put on some pressure. He laid some mines. He poked over and over. He tried to see, okay, what are you doing? And he's not entirely sure. But he's continuing onwards, right? He gets his missile turrets so he doesn't just automatically die to anything in a shuttle. He gets his armory so that he has a later game that he can work towards. He's getting siege mode because it could be just about anything. And in fact, siege mode specifically is needed against 3 gate range goons. So he kind of covered all of his bases, and he's going to be completely safe. QiaoGeGe cannot attack here, but QiaoGeGe is taking another base. So 3rd base going up pretty quickly. He can continue to produce some units here, and we'll see if he techs up beyond just gateways. As far as Bishop goes, adding another couple of factories. This, yeah, I tell you, he really is a great player. I feel like he's kind of recovered this as well as he could. Now, he's got 2 add-ons, so he's definitely going to be going up to the 5 factory that we talk about a lot in Terran versus Protoss right now. Let's see. Reaver tech, obviously a good choice. Always a good choice. He did lose one of his Zealots, so might want to make another one of those. Yeah, he's making 3 Zealots right now to help put in those shuttles, getting that shuttle speed as well, getting that 3rd base up. QiaoGeGe still up in workers pretty significantly, up by 8. Academy on the way, another factory. Notice how we don't really have SCV production consistently from Bishop. I believe that he's going to go for like a 5 factory, basically all in. He's getting the Academy, so there's a chance that he utilizes the scans to see where he's at and just tries to take a 3rd base. This is a pretty tough scenario, right? Like, there's a lot of gates already. There's going to be Reavers with speed. He's adding this pylon so that he has more room for gateways up here. And with, like, 56 probes on 3 bases, man, you can really produce a lot of gateway units. The Citadel just got started as well, and that's kind of like one of the big keys. Is making speed lots and getting a lot of them. So if you look at this, okay, here are the tells for Bishop if he scans and figures this out. And of course, every game is a bit different. But notice that there's no gas taken, and obviously this is a mineral only base. Like, he's going mass, like, Gateway Man, right? Like, Reavers into Gateway Man, which is right now considered a very good counter to these 5-fact plays. So if Bishop scans and realizes, I'm going to try to zap the vision real quick when we hear his scan and see what he's looking at. Because he's definitely going to scan here in a moment. Okay, he scans 1 to get that. He has a few good mines laid out. Okay, so the scan to kill the observer, sometimes that can lead to disaster because then you don't know that you need to not attack, that you need to turtle instead. So he does kill the observer, which is good. He has a secondary scan. We'll see if he ends up using it. Just rallying out nonstop. Now, if you go pure vulture for a bit, you might actually be okay here, right? Like, here's the thing. The 5-fact plays, it's really hard sometimes to judge the close situations, whether or not you can attack. And this one, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I think QiaoGeGe is not going to lose to this. He's going to have his Zealot legs pretty quick. But again, if you're making 5 vultures at a time, in a minute, you have 15 vultures. It's pretty significant. So right now, still pushing forward, just rallying out those vultures. He's got those 9 tanks, hasn't lost any, hasn't taken any damage. QiaoGeGe needs to pull back. He cannot be engaging quite yet. He does not have those Zealot legs. He needs to get up to critical mass. But Bishop's trying to push through, like, look at this leapfrogging. Look at this leapfrogging. Like, he is not taking a single Reaver shot. Not very common to see something like this. Like, normally people push a bit quicker, but he's being incredibly, incredibly careful right now. He's got a lot of army supply. He's got so many vultures in here. Even the speed zealots may not be able to hold. Now, look at this. Getting into a great position. Okay, finally a good Reaver shot. Gets a couple of vultures. Oh, he loses the Reaver moments later. Some missile turrets being made. A good spread. He has some mines in front, and then he has a lot of vultures sitting behind here. QiaoGeGe going up to the high ground. Okay, he's going to clear some of these mines, send some zealots forward. Let's see if this attack ends up working. Diving in, loses a shuttle very, very quickly indeed. Getting his zealots on top of a lot of these siege tanks. Great targeting here from Bishop. Targeting down with his siege tanks onto the Dragoons. Holy crap! One of the better pushes I may have ever seen. Like, I can't believe that. GG. Somehow Bishop takes game number 1. So we're just jumping into game number 2 here. That was kind of a quick one. It's going to be on Citadel. It's going to be cross spawns with Bishop in the bottom left, and in the top right we have QiaoGeGe. Yeah, that was really impressive. Okay, it was a weird game. It was a weird game because we had like all that pressure in the beginning. Bishop got behind. He poked. There was really never any big counterattack. It seems like maybe the army growth of QiaoGeGe wasn't fast enough. But I think the main thing to look at is the amount of vultures that Bishop made. If he had been going two factory siege tank with his 2 add-ons and 3 factory vulture and rallying that in, QiaoGeGe wins that game 100%. Okay, the fact that he went only vultures off of 9 tanks and leapfrogged so carefully so that he wasn't losing anything on the way over. His actual army supply by the time he got there was incredibly high. And he had enough to absorb the zealots while coming in, and he focus fired the goons. Okay, so that was like a masterclass in 5 factory pushing. Look, here's the thing. I don't watch any of this ahead of time. There's been one game I watched ahead of time that I casted on this channel. I said it before I did it just because it was a cool build from Fantasy that I wanted to show people. But like, I have no idea if these games are going to be good or bad. You definitely have seen some games on the channel that are bad. And honestly, I've said it many times, without bad games, there won't be good games, right? Not every game can be a good game. If you're only trying to cast the best of the best games, actually, that would make a crappy channel, in my opinion. Okay, you don't want just highlight reels. That gets boring as hell. You need to have some other stuff to kind of even it out. And I know that everyone loves Bishop, right? So it's like, okay, we'll grab this Bishop game. But like, that is a very impressive win. And you might look at it and say, oh, but it's a Chinese Protoss player. It's not a Korean pro. The Chinese Protoss players are very, very good. Like, a lot of them are high amateur Korean level, right? So maybe not quite as good as Bishop, but very, very strong. And dude, again, like, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Like, that was a push. I cast so many 5 factory pushes, and the way that he managed that, I've not seen other pros quite do it like that. Generally, they find more time pressure and push quicker. And of course, again, I have to stress that every situation is different. That was a weird game, but very impressed by game 1 of Bishop. Very excited. Like, I was already excited to do the series. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I really do like to mix up the series quite a bit and have these different ones where it's like, okay, this is a 9 game. This is a team battle. This is, these are ladder games. But like I really do like some of the China versus Korea matches when it's a good match like this. And that one definitely paid off. So, woo, okay. Anyways, yeah, like I said, right, we're going into the next game, and we have a Citadel going up. So this is a 1-base Citadel, so it's very, very fast. Now, if he throws down the Nexus now and blocks this SCV, oh, he doesn't really have the money. Okay, he throws down the Templar Archives first. Okay, so here's the thing. You get in here, the Dragoon. Okay, he sees the probe. So the probe is, I think, kind of bait in a way to make it look like he wants to make a Nexus. But this is... You definitely think something's up here as Bishop, 100%, right? In the current metagame, that would be a very late Nexus. Now, we can see that he was just faking with that. That's why he left the probe there. 2 proxy gates. It's going to make it a bunker. We might... If I were him, I would go Siege Mode and Engineering Bay. Because we haven't had any pressure across the map yet. The Goon is just sitting there. There's no Nexus. I might look at this and say, oh, maybe it's 2-gate range. But it could be anything, right? Mines. Okay, Mines and Vultures. Now, this could end up being really good for Bishop, right? The first DT is being made, but it's being made here. These gates have to finish, and then DTs can start. So, like... this is a 50-second upgrade. He's going to have mines before these get to his base. Okay, so he might be able to hold this just straight up with mines. It's going to be hard, though. Like, you got to lay mines nonstop. You got to make an eBay, too. You got to make an eBay. You got to make an eBay. Oh, I'm getting nervous for him right now. QiaoGeGe is going to walk through mines with his Dragoons, too. You watch. Like, he'll just right-click them. So, this is funny where the Vultures are. I'm not... Like, you got to get them in position to catch units coming out of the gateway at minimum. If you see, right now, I think he thinks that this is going to be a range rush. But it's actually DT. So, see, the mines are ready, but the DTs are walking in. Oh, my God. I think this game is actually done. This happens sometimes. It's a very, very quick DT rush, and I don't think he took it seriously enough. The DT going to walk in. That's game. That's game. You literally, it's impossible to win from here. 100%. Like a C ranker would beat Flash from here. Not even joking. GG. Tied up 1-1.